Maybe you're feeling stuck, not sure what direction in life to follow, or getting the sense that life is starting to pass you by. Before you hit that quarter life or midlife crisis, there are some things you can do before splashing out on that fancy convertible, and it's free. And it'll really help you get more clarity, tuning into the inner wisdom that's already there within you. You see, we're also busy running around, keeping ourselves busy. And while that might make you feel productive, like you're getting stuff done, a lot of times you're using busyness as an escape. We're running away from doing the actual work. And what is that work? My friends, it's the inner work. That is heck of a lot more difficult and challenging when you have to face yourself. But it can also be the most liberating, freeing experience when you learn to tune into that inner wisdom, what your inner guide already knows, but what you've been too busy and frankly, too distracted to actually see. How often do you actually sit in silence to tune in? I think we could all learn a thing or two from Mr. Pepper here. All you need is just 5 minutes, maybe 10 or 15 minutes in your 24-hour day. I'm gonna suggest a combination of two things here. On their own, they're great, but combined together, they are a powerhouse and have been phenomenal in helping me wade through the soup of thoughts and emotions and getting clear between what's distraction and what it is that's really going on and what it is I really need and want in my life. What am I talking about? It's the combined practices of meditation and journaling. So I thought I'd share with you 20 journaling prompts you could do before and after meditation as a combined practice to really help you connect to what's really going on within you, uncovering those innermost wants and desires so that it cuts through the BS. This is part 1 of a 2-part series, so you want to check out part 2 after you watch this video. You might want to grab your pen and notebook to take notes, but I've also got all of these 20 prompts in one tidy list you can download, and I'll put that link in the description or comments below along with part 2 of this video. The basic idea is you can use any of these prompts. You can pick one only or combine any of these together as questions to feel into as you meditate. So you're using these prompts or questions as an inquiry practice. It's best to also have a journal and pen nearby so you can write down anything that might come up during or after the session. So give yourself the 5, 10, or 15 minutes to sit, quieten the mind and heart, and then feel into any of the prompts I'll give you in a second. You can set a timer for this, or if you like, I've also got unguided meditations you can use. You guide yourself with these prompts. I'll link to my 5, 10, and 15-minute unguided meditations in the description below too. This first prompt might feel basic, but this is really the first step to tuning in and starting with intention. How often are we just rushing around, reacting to what's happening? If you're often feeling like you're running around like a headless chicken, learning to slow down and take a pause to assess where you're at and how you're feeling is the first step to learning how to tune into your intuitive self. How can you know yourself and what you want if you haven't learned how to listen to what is present? Taking this a step further, after checking in with where you're at right now, it's often helpful to check in with what is here right now in your body. Tuning into the physical sensations, the aches, the pains, anything within the physical body you might have been ignoring. Usually anywhere you might feel tight or stuck physically might have clues to what else is going in your inner world. Another way to tune in is to your emotions or the feeling state you're in right now. What is the emotional tone in this moment? Are you feeling rushed, impatient, a sense of excitement, or resignation? So often we just push away feeling any of the yucky emotions, or we suck it up and put on a brave face. But rather than denying how you're feeling, how about actually leaning into it? Being okay with all of the light and shade of emotions that are present. This is your safe space in your own time. So go on and allow yourself to feel all of those feelings you might have been pushing away or pushing down, like why it's there. Why you might have been pushing it away, what can this teach you about yourself or the situation that you're in. Likewise, tuning into any thoughts that might be present. Maybe it's a limiting belief you have about yourself. For example, I've been working with the theme of not feeling good enough, which is where a lot of my perfectionist tendencies come from. I want something to be done perfectly, but then my standards are so high and I'm so hard on myself, so then I procrastinate or feel like it's never good enough, and then I take that to be, I'm not good enough. And then it becomes this vicious cycle. So rather than going down this rabbit hole with the story of, oh, I'm not good enough, oh, boo-hoo, I sometimes feel into how that limiting belief or thought is feeling in my body. When I'm not feeling good enough, what am I feeling in the body and where? And then I feel into the opposite of that limiting belief. For example, how do I feel when I feel good about myself? And how does that show up in the body? What are the sensations? And then recognizing that this thought it's just a thought. I can so easily shift it to its opposite, taking this limiting belief and turning it into a personal affirmation. This one might take a bit more practice, but with time, you can see how it develops. Part of learning to tune into our inner world is also about learning to tune into the environment around us. The sights, sounds, smells, sensations, tastes. It's about learning to slow down, take a pause, and notice. So, notice what's here in the environment around you, even if you might be sitting and meditating with your eyes closed. Gratitude. You can never go wrong with this one. So often we're busy chasing that next thing, coming at it from a place of lack, that we forget to acknowledge the abundance already present in our lives. So find one thing you're grateful for right now in your life. It doesn't have to be anything material. Even the simplest thing, like being grateful for this breath, this body, this mind that allows us to feel and tune into this human experience, including all of your desires and wants, even if it might be unclear right now to you. Feeling into who is here, or which part of me is here. Okay, let's unpack this one. We've got so many aspects to ourselves, so which part of you is here right now? The one who is frustrated, angry, full of love, joy. Take a moment to feel into this part of yourself and acknowledge it. And again, this is part of learning to tune into all of those parts of ourselves we might have pushed away or been avoiding. This is how we learn to dig a little deeper into our inner world. And then digging a little deeper still, if you're ready, it's to ask yourself, what is something I've been afraid of doing? And just write a list, a brain dump of 10 things, 20 things. Once you have your list, pick the top 1 or 2 that really jumps out at you, and maybe the next prompt I'm going to give you might be helpful to go a little deeper. What has been holding me back from doing this thing? You can just sit, connect with your heart space as you ask yourself this question, and then just see what reveals itself. Just lean into this with a sense of curiosity and a sense of openness. And then, because it's all about taking action, and that's what often stops most people, I want you to ask yourself, what is one thing I can do to overcome this fear? Now, recognize you're not going to go from 0 to 100 in one step, but we're breaking this down into tiny little baby steps, so you're able to take just the next step in the direction you think you might want to go in. You don't need to overthink if it's the right or wrong step. Making any move already gets you into action, and action is way better than just staying stuck. These are the first 10 prompts to get you going. Are there any you think might be helpful to you? Let me know in the comments which ones you want to work with first. I'll put the PDF download link to all 20 prompts in a tidy list in the description or comments below. Now, these first 10 prompts help you to tune in and listen to what's present in your inner world, because how can you know yourself and what you want if you haven't learned to first listen to what is present? Now, the next 10 prompts will help you take action to uncover your innermost wants. So hit like and subscribe so you're notified when it's out, or maybe by the time you're watching, it's already out and you can watch that video here. I hope this helps you bring more grace, ease, and flow into your busy life, and I'll see you in the next one.